So after surveying thousands of seven-figure Australian businesses, we realised a scary statistic that 74% of those seven-figure businesses are flying completely blind without a key performance indicator dashboard. Now, imagine this for a moment. You were trying to drive your car. You're going 100 kilometers down the freeway and you have absolutely no dashboard. You don't know how fast you're going. You don't know your revs. You don't know check engine lights. You don't have any indicators. You don't have any blind spot indicators. You have no information aside from just the raw feedback of what's happening around you. Would it fundamentally change the way that you drive? Well, when it comes to your finances, it certainly does. We find that much like you would in a vehicle going 100 kilometers an hour down the freeway, you would be tentative, right? You would second guess, you would overanalyze, trying to compensate for the lack of concise and clear information presented in front of you. The same thing happens in the business. Seven-figure business owners who don't have a dashboard, don't have the level of insight that allows them to make confident decision around how they grow and scale. And for that reason, they leave financial opportunity on the table. Now, we've gone through a deep dive into analyzing the results of those seven-figure business owners who've completed our financial performance scorecard. I wanted to share with you some of those insights through doing case studies with a lot of those individuals, some of which have continued to work with us in a private capacity to implement solutions to what come up in the scorecard, versus ones who didn't. And hopefully you can extract some valuable insights if you choose to watch on. Now, let's talk about the KPI dashboard. The idea with the KPI dashboard is that firstly, we need to look at the various levels. And there's 3 levels to creating a dashboard. Now, first level of the dashboard is the cash flow dashboard. And this is what we look at for daily monitoring. What do we need to look at? Well, we need to look at available cash. What is our operating account balances minus our pending expenses? Better yet, we want to segment that into various bank accounts. We want to have an income account where all of our income comes in. We want to have a cost of sales account that pays for our contractors and our suppliers. We want to have an operating expense account that pays for our bills, our staff, our utilities, our rent, all of those kinds of things. We want to have an owner's pay account that pays you, your number one employee in your business. We want to have a tax account that pays for GST, PAYG, for super and corporate tax. And we want to have a profit account that pays you as a shareholder in your business. Now, imagine daily through having a system in place that you could segment your money between those 6 buckets and at a glance know exactly how you're performing financially from a cash flow perspective. Would that change your relationship with money? I'm sure it would. Next is accounts receivable aging. So if you're a business that invoices on account and then has to chase up those invoices, we need to have a daily process for chasing that money, because we see a lot of business owners who are invoicing a lot of money. Like on their P&L, their P&L looks fantastic. They're like, I'm making all of this revenue. On the bottom line, it shows I've got all this profit. Where the hell is the money? And the problem is they're not looking at the balance sheet. And for many of these businesses, they've got hundreds of thousands of dollars, potentially millions of dollars in unpaid accounts receivable because they do not have a daily cadence for managing that cash flow. That's money that you're owed, that you've already incurred costs for work that you have already done. And just because you don't have a system to adequately follow up and collect that cash, you are drowning financially. We need to fix that. Next, accounts payable. For similar reasons, we want to make sure we understand what is owed to our suppliers. And it's about understanding, based on what we are owed and what we owe, how do we understand our cash conversion cycle? In an ideal world, we want to make sure that we're receiving cash from our clients and customers before we have to pay to our suppliers. And as a result of understanding this, we can now create a 13-week cash flow forecast. And this allows us to have a predictable rolling forecast on our bare ass minimum, our wildly important goal, and trying to find ourselves somewhere in between. Cool? Level 2 is the operational dashboard. This is a weekly review. So we want to look at our revenue run rate. So what is our annualized revenue based on our current performance? So basically looking at, if we continue to maintain our trajectory, where are we heading? We want to look at our profit margin trend. We want to look at our gross profit, which is our revenue minus our cost of sales. We want to ensure that that gross profit is growing in line with our revenue. But we also want to see our net margins. What is our operating profit or our bottom line after we've included all of our expenses and everything heading towards the plan? Next, we want to look at our customer acquisition cost. So what does it cost us to acquire a customer? The math is pretty straightforward. It's what is our total marketing spend divided by the number of clients that we've acquired in that period. Now, for some of you, you might not be incurring a marketing spend, So you must be generating business somehow, and it's either through spending money on marketing or it's spending time. So if you are spending time, you need to look at the amount of time either you or other team members are spending on business development. You need to apply an hourly rate to that, and we need to utilize that as our cost of marketing and then run that same calculation. We then need to know our lifetime customer value. So what is the average amount of revenue that we produce per customer? Now, a lifetime is a long time. So I like to start with 12 months. And what we need to look at is, on average, per client, how many times do they do business with us over a 12-month period of time? For some of you, that might be 1 time. For some of you, it might be 3 times, might be 10 times. We want to understand that, because what that allows us to work out is if our lifetime customer value is X and our customer acquisition cost is Y, if we continue to spend that money to acquire customers, can we acquire customers profitably? And then we want to look at our team productivity metrics, because all businesses work within 2 constraints: the acquisition of new customers and clients, and the delivery of our promise to those customers and clients. So we want to look at our revenue per employee trend. And this is our operational dashboard that we look at weekly, because these are the things that we can tweak and optimize in order to improve our trajectory. And then level 3 is our strategic dashboard. So we want to look at our market share indicator. So how do we compare to our competitors? Or how are we comparing to our 3-year vision, our vivid vision of what we're trying to achieve? Our innovation pipeline. So based on challenges and frustrations that we're seeing in the market or opportunities, what strategies are we implementing in order to capitalize on those opportunities? Strategic goal progress. So what's our quantifiable progress towards our 1-year goal or our 3-year goal or even your 10-year goal? What are the risk indicators? What are the early signs that we have business threats? And then what are our value creation metrics? What are the factors that increase our business valuation? So we should know what's our profit, what's our valuation multiple, what's our running business valuation, and then as a result of all of the other things that we implement, what impact does that have on the valuation, either positive or negative? So the importance here is that we need to have 3 layers to this dashboard. Now, we had a client who implemented this KPI system, and she actually discovered that her most profitable service line was the one that was currently producing the least amount of revenue. And in fact, the service line that was producing the most amount of revenue was the lowest profit producer. So we had a choice. Well, what could we do to change the pricing for the highest revenue? That wasn't really an option because it was quite commoditized in the marketplace. So what did? We've shifted our complete focus over to the most profitable revenue line, and it fundamentally changed the business. We reallocated the resources, and within a matter of 6 months, she went from 23% profit margins, which is pretty good, to 41% profit margins. Like, it's almost doubling profit. It was a significant difference, and it only came from having the dashboard to be able to make those informed decisions. Weekly business reviews. You need to make sure that you have at least 90 minutes a week dedicated to doing these reviews. So review the cash position, review your 13-week forecast, review your key performance indicators. Make sure you're tracking them weekly. The problem identification and the solution planning. So if you're falling short on the KPIs, be honest with yourself. Why is this an issue and how do I fix it? And the strategic decision points that require attention. We need to ask ourselves, what is the most important thing that is going to move the needle forwards? Let's not focus on the shiny object. Now, monthly strategic reviews, half day. We want to review the strategic dashboard comprehensively and the financial performance of the business. We want to review how we're progressing towards the goals and making necessary adjustments. We want to review our resource allocation, because at 7 figures plus, it's not just about you throwing more time. It's potentially about hiring more people and allowing you to have the resources available to solve these problems. And review the market opportunity, because the market's shifting and changing all the time. So we want to make sure that we're on top of that. And then quarterly board meetings, full day. We want to review the business valuation. We want to review the strategic plan. We want to review the investment and resource allocation decisions. And we want to continue to evaluate our exit readiness checklist. There's about 120 things that you need to do to prepare a business for sale. It's a reason why it takes 1 to 3 years to do it. So if each quarter we're ticking off 15, 20, 30 things, you're going to exponentially progress towards getting your business ready for sale. Even if you don't want to sell your business is going to be more profitable. It's going to be less reliant on you. You're going to be happier, and the business is going to be more valuable. So if you're a 7-figure business owner and you've come this far, and maybe you're thinking like, hey, I haven't taken the time to work out this KPI thing, then there's actually another 29 potential areas that you are not addressing, and there's opportunities that you're leaving on the table. So the best next step is to complete the financial performance scorecard. It'll take you about 5 minutes. It'll give you a customized report across your profit strategy, your tax strategy, and your wealth strategy. From there, it'll help you evaluate the low-hanging fruit of where you need to focus your time and attention. Is it the KPIs or is it something else? And it'll give you a clear action plan of how you approach those things to start moving the needle forward. So click the link below, complete the financial performance scorecard, and let's see what we can do to get you on track for kicking some financial goals.